presently, with all the awareness, I know that we are live. Living, it's amazing to me. I just, it's something that I comprehend and contemplate sometimes, that being alive is just phenomenal. It's amazing. Speaking on that point, life and living, being alive, the magnitude, and that's just, it's so paramount, this message, because, what is all this live stuff that I'm talking about? And that leads to some other big questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? What are we doing here? And where on earth are we going? Right? And that's some pretty philosophical questions you might ask yourself. Some fundamental questions you might ask yourself. Some spiritual questions you might ask yourself at some point in your life. And the truth will set you free. And it's being free that is really, truly incredible. And being free is having that freedom to have the free will to make your own choices at your own peril, and the result of those consequences, to make your own decisions. And this is the point here. It's all about living your life to the fullest. That's what it's all about. And that is the theme of the message today, is living your life to the fullest, no matter what it takes. So, impossible is an opinion, not a fact. Anybody has that potential and the ability to live their life to the fullest. So, that brings me to a story, right, that a lot of my family members, they live none other than the beautiful tropical islands of Hawaii, and they're definitely living their lives to the fullest out there. And I have the opportunity to go visit them on occasion. And I was out at my favorite beach, and I was just cruising in the sand, just cruising on the beach, just like this. And I just had gotten back from a surf session, and I was walking, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this little kid runs up to me. He's like, "Hey, mister, you don't have an arm." And I was like, "Whoa, look at that. I don't have an arm." And I said, "And look it, I don't have any legs either." And he said, "Whoa, that's awesome!" And he thought it was the coolest thing ever. And you know what? It is totally awesome. And, it's taken some time for me to actually recognize that. And some of you might be like, "What is he talking about? He's missing 3 limbs. How is that awesome?" Right? Well, it is self-evident that I have 2 robot legs, and I have a hook for an arm, like Captain Hook, "Yarny matey, arr." Yes, I have 3 prosthetic limbs, and it is, you can see it with your very own eyes, that my adversity is physical, and that I'm a triple amputee. I pretty much wear my challenges on my sleeves. And I believe that each and every one of us, we all have adversity of some kind or another. You may not be able to see it with your eyes, but a lot of times it's in here. Something that, emotionally or psychologically or whatever it may be out there in the world, that all of us, we have challenges and adversities in our life. And what the important thing is it's not what happens, it's what you do about it. So, give a little background, and we all have our own life story and life situations. We're just going to jump right into it. You know, my very first adversity that I ever experienced was, I have a really big family, and no, that's not the problem. But my first adversity that was pretty difficult was when my parents got divorced. When I was 15, I was around 12, 13 years old. I was in middle school. And that was really difficult, but our family, we were able to get through that together. And I'm grateful for that because today my mom and my dad have, after they were divorced, they remarried to a different spouse. And I have an even bigger family today, a lot of step family on my stepdad's side and my stepmother's side. So this isn't all of us. This is just some of us, brothers and sisters. And that's Eminem Slim Shady himself right there. Yeah. Just kidding, that's me. There's a time where you cut your hair short and bleach it blonde, like Eminem. And now I have long hair, like the typical surfer dude in California. So big family. I love my family. Absolutely. I was born into this beautiful world, and I grew up with my best friend. We grew up together, got older, and we were wild and crazy, always bouncing off walls, had a lot of energy. Now, my brother and I, we always had quite the fashion statement, like suspenders and bow ties. If I knew my mom had dressed me like this, I would have had a word with her. So my twin brother Jesse and I are identical twins, and I think Jesse is a really good-looking guy. He's a handsome devil. Can you guys guess which one is which?
Yeah.
You're on the left.
Yeah.
I'm on the left. That's right. So Jesse and I, we grew up together. We did everything together. And from a young age, we excelled in sports. We were very active every year playing soccer, baseball, getting older, playing football, getting a little bit more aggressive, basketball. We played all sports, and we excelled. Something that I was very passionate about was running. I love to run. Woo, yeah! I was like the fastest kid in school. My brother Jesse and me, we were always running, and we were extremely fast. So we loved to run. And another big passion was living in California. We were always paddling on our surfboards in the waves, surfing totally gnarly waves, dude! So we loved surfing. And we were quite the thrill seekers, always searching for the adrenaline rush, living life on the edge, literally. So this is a commando hike in Hawaii. There's water down there about 40, 50 feet down. And we're doing front flips and back flips and all kinds of crazy tricks. Everything was going smooth. Life was going good. But one day everything changed. And September 11th, 2001 was very devastating. And that was a big change for all of us to experience as Americans. And this actually coincides with one of the biggest changes in my life. And actually, these twin towers right here represent two twins because of the motives, the intentions, the behavior that my brother and I had at the time, we were going down a bad path. And inevitably, we would come crumbling down, just like these two twin towers. So in a metaphor, this is something that represents my twin brother and I. At this time, everyone was patriotic and lighting candles for the victims of the terrorist attacks. Of course, this is something that I know you guys can relate to because of the current events here in Boston, and being very patriotic. And President Bush, he got on the television and he said, everybody light candles for the people that were affected and people that had died. So we constructed a memorial and a shrine of candles and a spotlight with a flag, and it was pretty magnificent memorial that we built. And I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore in high school at this point, and I was a party animal, and that was kind of my lifestyle at the time. Looking back, I know that it was very careless and self-destructive. I'd gone out to a few parties that night. I'd come home late, and there's those pivotal moments in time where you make decisions and they affect your life. And it's at these moments where you come to the crossroads and there is a fork in the road. You can go one way or the other way. And at these times, sometimes you may go down the wrong path, you may make a mistake. I used to live across the street from the railroad tracks, and this is what happened. I was drinking, I was very drowsy, and I did not see or hear the train coming. I was looking at this memorial. So I didn't see or hear the train coming. Oh! And it hit me. And 3 days later, I woke up in the hospital. And I was when I came to a conscious state of mind, I just remember being very, very grateful to be alive. It was a miracle that I'd survived. And it wasn't a surprise, but I do remember looking down and I didn't see my feet. I looked over and I didn't see my arm. And the next thing I did was, glad that's still there. Honestly, it's a male instinct. You just got to make sure your manhood's still there, and make sure everything's intact. So it was all as well. I was okay. But all joking aside, I knew that it was a miracle, and I was lucky to be alive. But this was a negative consequence of my actions. And now I was a triple